Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the KGB. Chili. Yes, finally. The KGB menu is going to get a chili. Now, look, this is probably going to be the first in a series of videos about chili, just because there's just so many different ways to make it. So it only makes sense that this first one is going to be a community chili, a party chili, if you will, potluck, poker game chili. This is mime for bringing chili to a party. Look, I know people have got all kinds of opinions about what goes in and what doesn't go into chili. I know people don't think beans belong in a chili. They don't think tomatoes belong in a chili. So look, since it's impossible to appease everybody, we've just decided to piss everybody off.
Ride all night to where the spice is nice, and the boys will always let you in. They'll fill you a bowl, feed you peppers whole, 'cause going hungry round here is an unforgivable sin.
All right. Chili. We power on. By the way, how do you like? I think I finally found a hat that fits.
Oh my God! I didn't realize you had a new hat. That is.
Do you like?
Hat. Oh,
do you like? It actually, I actually think I found something that fits my large alien-shaped head. Do you think?
You gotta go to the specialty shops for noggins this big. You know, he didn't even mention my haircut.
We were getting to your haircut. You look fantastic. You've got like a real wavy, like Bill Shatner, like original series prime like thing going.
Thank you.
Dude! You think I'm going to sit here and mock your haircut? It's a community chili, right? Yes, there is no way we're getting through this video without ticking off somebody out there about the way we are putting this together. You don't want beans in your chili? We're putting beans in.
Oh, yeah.
No tomatoes? Baby, we are putting tomatoes in there.
There will be tomatoes.
This chili, I am actually going to make a chili paste to put in. So we may as well start with this. I've got some, they call them California chilies, Anaheim chili, little pods, little dried pods. So what we're going to do is we are going to take the tops off, and then we are going to take the seeds out, which, you know, try and get it over the garbage.
Hey, I don't mind if you plant chilies on my land. That's fine with me. Are you ready for me to use the phrase that I think this week will be the phrase that pisses you off? So here it is.
Oh no.
When you're laying out all of your stuff like this, and we've done it in many cooks, this is something you do.
Yes.
That is known as a mise en place.
Oh, stop. You know.
Boy, that didn't take any time at all.
You know what we call it where I come from?
Where you go?
Laying stuff out! See, I was going over constantly to the garbage, but I think what we're going to do, where do you want them? Where do you want them grown?
Actually, I would prefer them over there.
Okay. We're going to bring the peppers back to life.
Yes.
As it were. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to toast them a little bit.
I can use another phrase.
Stop it. Stop it. Be careful before you speak.
We're going to make the spice bloom.
This actually isn't going to take long. This will take maybe a couple of minutes per side. Okay.
It's working though. Get some nice
So
color.
you can already, like, you can already smell the peppers, right?
Yeah.
You can't.
Which is nice to be
We're
outdoors.
not, I'm not going to put, it's not going to, oh, I wish you could smell, I wish, oh, if you could only be here. Not happening. So I think we're getting here, right? Look.
Yep. Get some nice smoke off of
the so we don't want to burn these. We're going to add some water. We're just going to bring this to the boil, and then we're going to let it
Once we do that, we're going to let it sit for about 20 minutes. We'll let them rehydrate.
I love that.
And then we'll make a paste out of them. I've never done this before, so this will be interesting. Usually, what I've done is I've toasted. I'll toast the chilies, and then I'll grind them up into a powder.
So you're fortifying your water, or you're fortifying your peppers, or both? You're gonna use that water?
Fortifying? Why are you using such big words with me?
Iron Chef.
Fortifying? Oh, God.
Into a noble broth.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is slowly. I may go back to making this just a single show. So while we're doing this, let's chop up some stuff. Enjoy the montage. Okay, I cannot tell you how scared I am about this. But we're going for it.
Okay. Safety last. God, I should know that.
All right, I'm not going to go full. All right, screw it. I'm a little too worried about going full smash. Why does it seem like a lot of garlic? Because it is! Smoked brisket, which is going to come out here in a second.
Yummy.
But we are also going to add some sausage, and we are going to have some pork chorizo.
Oh, chorizo.
Chorizo. So I'm debating how I want to do these sausages. Maybe what I want to do. So the sausage is already smoked, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking.
Oh.
What I would like to do is just chop them up.
Oh, look at that.
Into nice little bits, right?
Oh, okay. All right. Nice little bits, not so chunky.
Not chunky little bits, but nice little bits, right?
Getting some beautiful sausage footage. Sausage footage for all the folks.
We're just about ready to go with the pepper, so maybe now is a good time to actually talk about spice. Here's my thing, especially as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that heat works way better with flavor.
Oh.
And that heat for heat's sake is kind of, it's not. I'm really tired of dishes that are like, when they come, it's like, are you man enough? Can you take the heat? And I'm good with heat. My buddy's kids thought it would be really funny if they got me one of like the world's hottest gummy bear. In fact, when my buddy bought it, the guy that sold it to him went, okay, I just want to let you know, this isn't a joke. I'm like, all right, this is gonna hurt a little bit. Sure, but how bad could it be? I still have PTSD. I have never been in pain like that in my entire life. In fact, if I were given the choice between being kicked hard squarely in the balls or eating that gummy bear, I would have chosen to get kicked. And let me tell you something. I lived it for the next 2 days.
Oh my God.
Oh my man, as that worked its way out of my system.
Oh.
Holy cow. The one thing I didn't bring was some peppers and adobo sauce. You know, the jalapeno.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Usually I'll chop one of those up and put it in my chili, and that's fine for heat. I don't have it today because I didn't buy one, John. I didn't buy one. I went to the store and I walked right by it. I didn't buy one, John. I do have a jalapeno. So fair-sized jalapeno. We will take the seeds out of this. Let's add one jalapeno, see where that gets us. Let's see where we're at. Oh, look, yes. Look, see? Nice and soft.
Yeah.
Rehydrated. All right. Yeah, these came out pretty good. Let's rinse these off, right? A little bit. Let's try and get rid of any more bitterness. Let's toss them in here. Let's add a cup of water to this and see if we can create a little bit of a paste. All right, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that color on there too. Ah! Let's start putting this together. So we're gonna let that pan heat up a little bit. And what I have here is a little pork chorizo. Get a little fat, some oil, some spice in there. All right. So, look at how much fun this is.
There you go, kids. Let this haunt your nightmares.
Okay, so here we go. So we're going to get this chorizo going, and then we will use that to cook our vegetables. Ooh. All right. Ah, heck. Let's put them all in. Put it all in.
Come on. Nice. Oh, yeah. So you've coated everything with the chorizo.
We are going to add, there's already some salt and stuff in here, but we're going to add a little more blend. A little salt, pepper, maybe even a little garlic just to help that out. That's good cooking. Very nice. Okay, so I smoked the brisket yesterday, so it's had a chance to do its briskety thing. All right, so we are going to cube this brisket up. So now I didn't cook this brisket to the temp I would normally, which is about, I don't know, 203, 204, 205. I took it off pretty much at the crutch temp of around 160 to 170 because what's going to happen is it is going to get nice and tender in the chili, and I would still like it to have a little bit of something. Oh man, you can't. I hate doing this, but you can smell that, right?
Yes, it's really beautiful. Now, this is a rub you put on it. This is not marinade.
I'll. In fact, let's cut to the tape.
All right, so here's how I separated the muscles on the brisket. So we got the flat on top that rides on the point, as you can see. There is a seam of fat that runs through the brisket and separates the two. So we're going to start by taking off this big, hard piece of fat. That is going to expose more of the fat vein. And then we're just going to glide our knife along that seam.
That's a pretty sharp knife, right?
It's a very sharp knife. Sharper the better. And actually, you know what? If you keep your brisket cold, it makes it easier to cut.
Oh, that's
so once you can get your fingers underneath the flat here, just grab on, lift it up, let gravity be your friend, and then all you need to do is just guide that knife along the fat. Now look, if you cut into meat, it's not a problem. Just reposition the knife and keep going down. The thing
It's
to remember,
forgiving.
it's very forgiving, and every brisket is different. So this is going to be a new experience every time you try and separate one.
That's a good thing.
Now, as
to
you
know.
get towards the end here, it gets really thin at the bottom of the point, so that's where you make your final cut to separate the muscles. Here's the point. We're going to make some lovely burnt ends with this later. And now it's time to trim up that flat. I
Got
like
a
to
bit of
take
trimming to do here.
a little bit of trimming, but I like to keep about a 1/4 inch of fat on the bottom of the brisket just to protect it while it's in the smoker.
Ah, that's
so
good
I'll,
advice.
yeah, so I'll take off any excess there and get it down to that. Turn it over, and then it's time to clean the top. Now, here's the thing to remember.
Yeah.
Is that we take off the silver skin, we take off the fat because smoke and seasoning will not penetrate either. The silver skin, of course, is that silvery membrane on top. I saved you another 10 minutes of trimming. Here, we just went straight to the end. All right, time to season. So we
Little oil massage.
Oil, little binder. We're actually going to use 2 seasonings here. We're going to give this a light dusting of the blend, the salt, pepper, and garlic, and a little El Jefe Grande, a very nice southwestern spice that I like. Once you get the bottom and once you get the edges, you turn it over and do it all again. I just like rubbing meat, but that's my thing.
So he says. I don't know from firsthand.
All right, once it's seasoned, I like to leave it for an hour and then take it to the mighty smoker, the mighty Yoder, the YS 1500. And we're going to be using a combination of oak, cherry, and hickory pellets on this. Fat side down to protect the brisket. 250 for about 4 hours, and then we take it off and try and not eat it until we use it in the chili. Now back to the cook.
Through the magic of Hollywood, we're back. Now, I don't know if all that's going to fit in there, but we'll get as much of it as we can. And then we don't want to waste any of that.
Should the flame be burning white?
Should be blue, right? Blue, white. Yeah, that's the kind of flame we need.
Okay, good. I mean, if it's white, that's cool. I mean, we'll just elect a new pope.
Did you submit?
I did.
Are you in? Is your name in?
I had my agent.
Why aren't you there? Why are you not part of the
Oh,
conflict?
I didn't even make it through callbacks. They were like, show us your hand.
Is that what they do with popes now, is self-tape?
And then you gotta show them your hands. And I was like, hi, I'm John Weber. I'm 62 years old. Because you have to do that for the Pope.
Oh, you do?
You have to tell them how old you are. And then they go, okay, full shot, good. And then profiles, yeah.
And what are the sides that they give you? That's what I want to know.
Well, I was saying a lot of Mamma Mia, but you know me, I ad-lib.
Did you do a song? Did they ask for a song?
I didn't do that song. I did Day by Day.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because, you know, Godspell, I figure that can get you into the papacy as well.
Let's add a little garlic. Let's add a little garlic. So we want to soften this up. We want to get a little bit of color on them.
Exactly, anyway.
Add some spices. Now, I have discovered this Paul Prudhomme Fajita Magic, which I use. We're going to do like 2 tablespoons of this.
Okay.
And then we are going to add a little cumin, just
People love the cumin.
just a dash. Cumin. Cumin sounds like the name of an action star, doesn't it? Cumin. Now he's really pissed off. We are going to give those spices a quick tour of the bottom of the pan. Now with the spices, we're trying to create a little bit of a crust on the bottom. And get that going. So we got, we definitely got some stuff going on here. So now we're going to add a little bit of beer.
Yes. And
We're adding the whole bottle.
it's a beautiful cerveza as well.
And then we are going to clean the bottom of the pan with that.
Nice.
Get all those nice little crusty bits off the bottom.
We are fond of those. To the crusty bits at the bottom of a pan are called the fond.
Stop it. And you know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to add the sausage.
Hey, sausage, you're on.
Come along, sausage. And then we'll also let the sausage kiss the bottom of the pan. Is that a...
Excuse me while I kiss the bottom of the pan. That's my favorite Jimi Hendrix.
All right, sausage, vegetables. Look at how this is all coming together. We're going to add some diced green chilies.
Nice.
I am now going to add some stewed tomatoes.
We got them drunk this morning.
Stewed tomatoes. Some stewed tomatoes that have some Mexican spices in there. And you know what else I do? Even though it's boiling, and because I have no feeling now in the tips of my fingers, is I'll get in here and I'll break these up with my fingers a little bit. These are going to break down even more during the cook, but it's kind of nice to have like chunky tomato bits in it. Now, look, if you don't put tomatoes in your chili, you know what? In the comment section, write us. Tell us why that is. Tell us what you prefer, or you know what? Don't put them in!
But seriously, write in the comments.
Oh my God! You know what we forgot to put in?
What?
I'm such an idiot.
What? I'm in the way. Oh.
We forgot to put in the chilies. All right. I would have dearly loved to have cooked this off on the bottom of the pot.
Oh.
But we are going to add the chilies into this. Guys, here's the thing about cooking. It happens the way it happens.
Yeah.
Like you saw me separating the brisket, right? You saw me separating the point from the flat. Wasn't the smoothest cut in the world. But you know what? It all kind of works out in the end. But I think we'll be okay. If we're not okay, then I'll just edit it out and we'll lie about it. Oh, I love the slow burn. I love the burn that catches up with you.
That's my favorite. Because if you just hit me right at the beginning, the fight's over.
Yeah.
But if you let me get around
No,
it,
this is like you taste it and you go, wow, that's really good. I really like the flavors, and oh, hello, here it comes. Far prefer that to just, you know, smacking you across the face. You like spice? Yeah? Can you handle that? How about that? Can you taste the food? No? Too bad. Boom, here comes some more heat. Boom. You want something that'll go. That's nice, wasn't it? Wasn't that nice? Yeah, that was nice, right? That was nice. Ah! Tomato sauce. Yeah, tomato sauce. All right. Bring it on. Bring on the hate. This is all about building to your pot, right? I'm already concerned a little bit about how much brisket we're going to get in here, but this is also all going to cook down. And we've still got like some chicken stock to add in this. So there is, the other thing I like to do, like if this were all beef, right? Beef chorizo, beef sausage, beef, beef stock, beef, like it just all gets a little heavy in one note.
Yeah.
But we mix it up with a little pork, right? Little pork, little chorizo, little this, some sausage, and then some chicken stock, and the whole thing becomes a lot more complex. There's a lot more going on, other than it's beef. I also want my chili meaty. so let's...
Oh, God, I should be on the other side.
Sorry. Good Lord. You would think we would know to play to the camera. Right? You would think, hey, you got that? You got that close-up? How's that? Is that good? And then we still got room for some stock.
Yeah.
And then this is going to break down. This is all going to cook down.
Yeah. Liquid's going to boil off a bit.
And then that'll leave room for the beans.
I want to eat this right now.
Yeah. If you don't think beans belong in chili, just leave a comment at the bottom as to why you think that is, or you know what? Don't put them in.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's add. Oh man, wind is blowing everything away. Oh, look at this. We're gonna get it all in. We got it all in.
Unbelievable. Look at that level. Kids.
Okay, look, see all those brisket chunks are gonna break down, get nice and tender.
They're enjoying their bath.
Like I tried a couple of new things in here, but for the most part, this is pretty much standard, how I make chilies for parties and stuff. So now, the drinking begins. Sorry, the waiting begins. So what we're going to do now is we are going to let this cook for at least 2 to 3 hours. What we're going to do is we're not going to put in the beans right away. Beans are going to go in for the last hour of cooking. And when the beans do go in, we're going to smash up some of the beans so we can mix it in with the broth that we have going here. If we had a smoker here, potential sponsors, if we had a smoker here, I would actually put this back on the smoker.
Ooh.
And cook it on the smoker for about 3 hours. Trust me, with the smoked sausage and the smoked brisket, you are definitely going to get that taste. One thing you can do, and this is something, if you don't want your chili to scorch on the bottom or burn as it's cooking down, as you're trying to keep it at a simmer or a low boil, put it in the oven. Put it in the oven at about 300, 325. And it'll cook down without fear of burning everything that's on the bottom. We'll see you guys in about 3 hours. We'll see you guys in about 2 to 3 hours.
All right, so here we go, 2 hours later. Now, for all you doubters out there, see, this is looking a little more like chili now.
Take that, doubters.
Bean me, baby. All right, let's add the beans. We have a little kidney, pinto, black beans. I just like to mix it up just for look, a little variety, a little bit of taste.
Yeah.
We mix everything in here, and then this is going back in for at least another hour while we work on a finisher.
I know people like to add, sour cream.
Oh, yeah.
Cheddar cheese.
Oh, sure.
But we don't really have a garnish on top, but we do have a little finisher, which I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback from some of you on this. Cilantro. A little cilantro that I am just going to stir through at the last minute, right before we serve, which gives it a nice little I never used to add cilantro to my chili, but my sister recommended it. I tried it once, and now it goes in every time. Time to plate this SOB.
Oh, now we're looking like chili.
We're there.
Look at this. So
This is
the
it.
cubes of brisket have broken down. We have a really beautiful meaty chili. You know what? Let's just grab some bowls and get on with it.
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's see where we're at.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Taste.
Now wait. Give it a minute.
Mm.
International sign for give it a minute.
Oh my God. Like as you did that.
Like I wasn't lying, right? Little heat on the tail end, right?
Little peppery heat.
But not crazy. So here's the thing. You could serve this. You could serve this to anybody. And then if somebody wanted more heat, they could add it. But as it is right now, there's a really nice warming, right? It's not just one flavor. It's a lot of flavors. But holy cow. And then you get like the smoke.
Yeah.
Like the more you eat it. No, I'm really happy with this.
Big pieces of smoky meat.
That was your OnlyFans account. This is really good now. Tomorrow, it's going to be stellar. Easy win. Easy menu item.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Community chili. Goes straight onto the KGB menu. I realized telling that story earlier about the hot gummy bear, right? And my being in pain. I completely forgot. I'm like talking to a professional wrestler, for crying out loud.
Retired.
You don't have that? Don't feel like you want to come back?
I'm never going in those ropes again.
Talk about pain. You must have had a bad drop or two.
I was not a guy who would get a lot of broken bones, but I was the base for a lot of terrible things.
That line alone we should just cut out of the story right now. I'm not a guy who got a lot of broken bones. Cut. Curtain.
So I was one of the biggest guys. And at 6'5" and a good 265, when I was in decent shape, I was pretty significant out there. And a lot of the guys I was wrestling did not want to be the smaller guy in the match. So one night, they come to me and they said, we want you to wrestle Paul Isadora. Paul Isadora is 6'8" plus. He's a giant. He's an absolute giant. And I'm like 3 inches shorter and not as wide. And I'm a little guy next to him, which is kind of fun to be a little guy for a change. They bring us together backstage. Everybody knows how pro wrestling works now, right? We're going to give you 3 minutes. Paul's winning, obviously. So, stepdaddy, you figure out how you want to get beat. So I tell him everything I want him to do. But I want him to finish me with my finishing move, which is the choke slam. Because no one takes a good choke slam for me.
So the choke slam is what? What is a choke slam?
Grab the guy by the throat, what is called in wrestling the goozle. It's called the goozle. You grab his goozle.
There's your t-shirt.
You grab his waist. You pick him up as high as you can get him. You straighten him out and you slam him on his back as hard as you can. You can't go easy with it. It's got to go hard. So Paul goes, you want to go out with a choke slam? And I'm like, yeah, please. So he grabs me. He lifts me way up because his arms are as long as an orangutan on steroids. Raises me way, way up. And I go down for him and I spin. So I'm not going to go flat on my back.
Oh!
I'm going to land on the back of my shoulders, which is not safe, but I knew what I was doing. And I hit, and my whole body accordioned in on itself and then popped out. And I leap off of my shoulders on the mat and just lay there like a dead body. He sees me backstage and he goes, oh my God, you're walking? I will say, I saw stars. I was definitely loopy. They had to help me backstage. If they didn't help me backstage, janitors would have picked me up. I was knocked out for a little bit, but it was worth it.
You know what would be a great wrestling move?
What's that?
Get somebody in a corner, right? Give them a couple of shots.
Yeah.
Get them loopy. Slip them gummy bear. Slip them one of those super hot gummy bears.
Okay, you joke?
Right in. Just slip it to them. Right? That. Now you want to talk about a finishing move? That, my friend, would be a finishing move.
Kramer's Grill and Bar. Kramer's Grill and Bar. No time to waste. Come take good taste. We'll treat you like a star.
You want to talk about a finishing move? That, my friend, would be a finishing move.